What's up, everyone? Today I'm reviewing How to Make a Killing, written and directed by John Patton Ford, and stars Glen Powell as Beckett, someone who was disowned at birth by his very wealthy family. He was told by his mother since he was young that the inheritance of the family will all be his someday if he just outlives all the people in the family. He eventually decides to speed up the process so he can get what he feels is rightfully his. So I hope you stick with me in this review because I'm severely divided on this picture. I love the premise, and the first 15 minutes or so are great. Seeing a calm and sort of arrogant Glen Powell sitting in a prison cell telling his story to a priest, and also seeing the nature of his birth, as well as his early childhood, was near perfect with its execution in setting up the stakes and intrigue of everything that would happen after that. But then the film becomes just way too confused with itself, and has plot holes that are bigger than a sarlacc pit. To begin with, Glen Powell is very up and down with this performance. I still think his best work was in the show Scream Queens, where he was just a rambunctious jock and over the top but charming while doing so. And I also liked him a lot in Twisters. He was likable but also arrogant and full of himself at the same time. I think those are the kinds of roles he shines the most in, where he is a massive charmer but always does silly and sinister things with that shit-eating grin on his face. In this role, I think he is more tepid and muted. You do see some of that charm come from time to time, but for too long in the film, he is just bumbling, buffoonish, and has a hipster aura to him that just rubbed me the wrong way. It isn't a bad performance, it's just a character that is written strangely. Speaking of written strangely, Margaret Qualley is a femme fatale in this movie, and she is such an amazing actress as we all know, and you can tell by the way she presents herself here that she was ready to be similar to those hard-boiled dames from the old 1940s noir films. Everything about this picture is very much a throwback to those kinds of movies, and after seeing Qualley in films like The Substance and even Honey Don't, which wasn't very good, but that was not her fault, I was prepared for her to be an heir apparent to people like Barbara Stanwyck with this kind of performance, and she is up to the challenge, but her character is written so clumsily and is only inserted to remind us she is there at times. As odd as this sounds, her character was written similarly to the way Aubrey Plaza played her character in Megalopolis, but with that film, Plaza was able to balance the camp with the bombast. And unfortunately, there is no balance written for Qualley's character in How to Make a Killing. She's such a great seductress in presentation, but all too often I kept asking myself why her character is even in this movie. She's supposed to be Glen Powell's oldest childhood friend, but her motivations are disjointed and feel like they are only inserted to give our main character obstacles that he has to climb. There is a love interest in the film, and she was a fun character too for what screen time she is given. She's supposed to be the balance of Powell's life to show that things are fine just the way that they are. So is he able to just accept that, or is his desire to get what he feels is his right stronger than his feelings for her? But just like Margaret Qualley's character, she is only written to be inserted when the plot needs complications, and not organically flow with life of our main guy. Now, there are tons of things I like about this film, so it isn't a total disaster for me. I really like the music, the mood, the style, and the climax of the film with the matriarch of the family was great fun, even if it is weird how we got there. Ed Harris, quite frankly, just outacts Glen Powell when he shows up, and it's unfortunate that they cast such a wonderful veteran actor that outshines the person we are supposed to root for the most. But I did like their entire interaction. I think my biggest problem with this picture is that everything and everyone is written in archetype ways, and the people he is killing aren't douchey enough for me to despise them. And the one relationship in the film that has even a small amount of pathos is the one Powell develops with his uncle. There are FBI agents that pop in and out of the story to remind us that he is being watched even though they can't prove he's done anything wrong. And therein lies one of the biggest plot holes. There is no way Powell could get away with the things he does in this film. And since that is just a reality in any kind of way with forensics, it proves that all the cops in this film are stupid. So when I see stupid cops, I realize that maybe I just need to turn my brain off and go along for the ride. And I was able to do that for a little while. But when you have the love interest underwritten, the femme fatale written as the most up and down person in a bad way, and the lead not being as charismatic as he needs to be for this kind of role, it makes the holes of the plot stand out more instead of me being able to turn off my brain fully, and it ruins the experience for me. So this movie is a severe mixed bag for me. It isn't a bad film, but it is a tonally confused one that I think isn't as sardonic and dark humored as it should be for this kind of story. Nor is it ballsy enough to go all the way with being hard-boiled. It just kind of meanders in this weird la-la land of wasted potential. So I can't recommend the movie for a full theater price, but I can say maybe check it out when it hits streaming. Again, it isn't a bad film, it's fine. I wish it would have not dipped its toes into so many subplots and focused on one or two and called it good. But instead, it is just a chaotic mess. I say check out Double Indemnity instead if you want some true noir that is cohesive. I give How to Make a Killing 2.5 stars out of 4. I love Margaret Qualley, and she is too good for the role that was written for her here. And I think that Glen Powell should stick with being the shithead of a story with a smile on his face. It's what he's best at. A disappointing film for me. And that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.